Now let's get you breaking updates coming in. A terror attack has taken place while a solidarity march was taking place. The solidarity march turning into a scene of complete chaos and horror in Colorado's Boulder city, with 6 people being injured after a man hurled an incendiary device at the gathering. They suspect 45-year-old Mohamed Soliman, an immigrant, allegedly who shouted "Free Palestine" and "End Zionist" before launching the attack. He is now in FBI custody, with several federal agencies treating the incident as a targeted terror attack. Authorities, in fact, have said that the device was designed to cause fire, making the assault even more dangerous. The investigations are currently underway, but it was a solidarity march that was taking place. Jews had gathered in the city when it was attacked. The gathering was attacked. Complete chaos and horror that unfolded. 6 people have now been injured. The suspect has been identified and is said to be an immigrant who shouted slogans of "Free Palestine" before launching this attack. The police officials are currently at the scene of crime, the visuals that you're seeing on the screens. But it was a peaceful gathering. Members of the Jewish community had all gathered for a pro-Israel gathering. My colleague Shreya is joining us on the broadcast with the details. Shreya, it's a developing situation, sketchy details at the moment. What do we know about the incident?
That's right, Pratibha. This is coming as another setback for President Trump, because this is the second such attack that is labeled as anti-Semitic targeted terror attack that has happened under his administration. Remember, a few days back, 2 Israeli embassy officials were attacked as well, and the accused had attacked in the same manner, yelling "Free Palestine." This time around, the 45-year-old suspect, who has now been detained by the FBI, Mohamed Soliman, also is believed to have yelled "Free Palestine" and "End Zionist" before attacking this routine march that was held. Remember, since this conflict has begun, Israelis around the world have been carrying out solidarity marches for the hostages to be freed by Hamas. And this was one such protest and solidarity march that was being carried out. But at the moment, the FBI is still investigating as to what exactly happened and what is the entire reasoning behind this. But so far as we know, 6 people have been injured. They were aged between 67 and 88 years old. And this man was yelling, the accused was yelling "Free Palestine" as he attacked them.
Okay,
Also,
this is a big intel failure. This was a pro-Israel rally that was taking place. It was a peaceful gathering that was targeted. Has the suspect been arrested? Are the officials aware of whether there could be any other attacks that could be taking place? And like we mentioned, this is going to be a big intel failure by the United States administration, and it will have to answer for that.
Is in FBI custody, and the FBI is investigating this entire attack as a targeted terror attack, as an anti-Semitic attack. This is, of course, the second attack that has happened. So far as we know about the suspect, he's 45-year-old Mohamed Soliman, who's believed to have been immigrated to the U.S. from Egypt. And reports also suggest that his immigrant visa had gotten over, but he was overstaying, and he was given work permit as per Trump administration by the Biden administration that was previously in the United States of America. So that angle of, whether it was a bigger network and whether there are more such people who are associated with him is still being probed by the FBI as we speak. But this is, of course, a concerning situation, as you said. Under the Donald Trump administration, this is the second such attack against Jews, obviously raising questions about the law and order. Also, how, such attacks are now increasing, something that the police also said in its press briefing, that such anti-Semitic targeted attacks are now on the rise in the United States of America, and therefore it becomes all the more important for the administration to make sure that they are prevented as much as possible. Pratibha.
Okay, all right. Shreya, thank you for joining us with those details. Let's take a look at these visuals. And this has been identified as the suspect. He is believed to be the suspect who had initially shouted "Free Palestine" before launching this attack. Big intel failure. It was, like we mentioned, a very peaceful gathering that was taking place. Pro-Israel rally. mainly consisting of Jews, that was targeted by this individual who has been identified as Mohammed. In fact, he is said to be the one who launched this attack. He shouted "Free Palestine" as well. 45-year-old Mohamed Soliman, he has now been taken into FBI custody. In fact, we have more details coming in as well. The FBI Director Kash Patel has also taken to social media to confirm the same. He has in fact written a message about the attack saying, "We are fully aware and investigating a targeted terror attack in Colorado. Our agents and local law enforcement are on the scene already, and we will share updates on more information as it becomes available." This is a message that is coming from Kash Patel. He has spoken, in fact, not just him, but there are other officials as well who have spoken about the investigations that are ongoing. Listen in.
The initial response by our officers, we were on scene very quickly. When we arrived, we encountered multiple victims that were injured with injuries consistent with burns and other injuries. While our officers and paramedics and fire department personnel got those victims quickly to the hospital, our officers were pointed out, a suspect was pointed out to our officers on the scene. Our officers immediately encountered that suspect who was taken into custody without incident. That suspect, who I'm not able to ID at this time, was taken to the hospital with some minor injuries as well. And there's a lot more we're investigating right now before I'm able to release information on that person. The scene itself is contained, but we have a large area here in downtown Boulder closed off right now. Businesses have been closed, and we have asked people to avoid the area. This area is not safe yet. We're dealing with a vehicle of interest. We're dealing with a large area that we are making sure it's safe before we allow people to come back into the scene.
My colleague Srinjoy Chaudhary is also on the broadcast with us with the details. Srinjoy, at a time when the Trump administration is even cracking down on students for their anti-Israel rhetoric, 45-year-old Mohamed Soliman, identified as an immigrant, not just shouted "Free Palestine," but also launched an attack on a peaceful gathering. This is a big intel failure.
Yes, of course. But beyond that, the fact that this is a country where a lot of guns are available and easily available is something that has to be kept in mind. Of course, in this case, no guns were used. What is being called is an incendiary device was used, which is why people have suffered from burns. But yes, this is an Egyptian or originally of Egyptian origin who has been arrested, and perhaps he is the one who is responsible. Once again, Palestine is an issue, and the American administration or the authorities here have considered this a terrorist attack, which it is. It is a terrorist attack on innocent people who had gathered peacefully, who had nothing to do with any other subject except their own interests, and you attack them. So as a result, this is a terrorist attack according to the authorities, and quite naturally, the offender will be dealt with accordingly.
Okay, all right. So what we do know at the moment is that the suspect has been identified and has been arrested by the FBI as well. But Srinjoy, is it an indication of a larger crackdown that would be coming in from the Trump administration? This is a man who, like you mentioned, the incendiary device that was being carried by him, thrown at this peaceful gathering. What we know at the moment is that there have been a few injuries that have been reported as well, but there have been multiple of these targeted attacks, these attacks that are targeted at Jews. So what the Trump administration will be looking at would be to ensure that such incidents don't repeat, because several questions will be raised on the administration, isn't it?
Yes, first of all, there should be no attacks or anti-Semitic attacks. None at all. There should be no attacks per se. And the fact that guns are so easily available in the United States, that some of those laws have been actually pared down, are very worrying. Now, this is a country where it is very easy to buy, let's say, an AK-47 or a similar device. That has to be kept in mind. This, of course, was not a gun-related issue, because, as you rightly mentioned, an incendiary device was used. But even then, the Trump administration has to be very careful and ensure that there are no anti-Semitic attacks or attacks of any kind, because levels of violence in the United States far exceed that of most developed countries in the West or in the Far East. So this really is a law and order situation that not just the Trump administration, but also the 50 states will have to deal with.
Absolutely. Shinjay, do stay with us. We have an official statement from the police officials as well. Let's play it out.
ALEK. After that, you will hear from Boulder Police Chief Stephen Redfern. That is STEPHEN.
We're early in the investigation, but some details have emerged. I'm able to confirm there are 6 victims, ages 67 to 88. All of them have been transported to local hospitals. This attack happened at a regularly scheduled weekly peaceful event. Witnesses are reporting that the subject used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd. The suspect was heard to yell, "Free Palestine," during the attack. The subject has been identified as Mohamed Soliman, and he's 45 years old. The FBI is processing the crime scene and the subject vehicle and interviewing key witnesses. We're assisting Boulder Police in providing technical, analytic, and additional forensic resources. As a result of these preliminary facts, it is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism.
All I know is Boulder has recovered before from acts of violence, and we will again recover. I urge the community in this time to come together. Now is not the time to be divisive, and we will continue to ensure community safety along with all of our partners. To echo the special agent in charge comments, our hearts go out to everyone affected today. Here and in Colorado, we understand that this has a ripple effect in many communities, and we are continuing to stand with and support the victims affected today by this attack.
Okay, all right. So the police officials have revealed the details at the moment, and we're keeping track of the developments there. More official word as well as political reactions also expected.